how I traded a small account in the beginning. Well, a good example would be Tesla from yesterday. When it started failing intraday, putting in lower highs, held below VWAP, the second short I had on it, that was a perfect example of how I day traded, how I used to day trade. Find these stocks, preferably liquid stocks with big range intraday, and then you look for intraday shorting opportunities. You can have relatively tight stops and get decent risk reward trades on these things. Like risk $1 to make $3 to $5. So that was a perfect example of a day trade I would have made, and I would have covered into weakness, and I wouldn't have tried to go for a home run like I did on Tesla yesterday. That's a perfect example of how I traded when I had a smaller account. I didn't swing trade, I didn't position trade, I day traded. Every day I tried to find 3 to 5 opportunities. When I was growing a small account, well, it's all about the singles. Don't try to go for home runs. Now I try to go for home runs, but if you have a small account or even a tiny account, I would say, go for singles. Just take the singles and try to be as consistent as you can. Try to avoid drawdowns. And the more bored you are, the better. When you start getting excited, that's when you take a step back. That's when things get dangerous. You should be bored out of your mind. That's how you trade a small account. Yeah, exactly. You try to find stocks that have big daily range and preferably are liquid. And then you try to find areas to go long or short. My favorite ones are the ones that are up 3-4 days in a row to go short, and things that are down 3-4% 3-4 days in a row to go long, like mean reversion trades. Those were my favorite ones. They still are, but I don't trade them that much anymore. Only if there are really big opportunities. Like a perfect example would be this CrowdStrike couple of weeks ago, which I was looking at the short. It was up 3 days in a row and running into declining resistance, and then on this 4th day it found weakness, put in lower highs, and then it faded. And it would have worked both as a day trade and as a swing trade. And on this day here, it had a big update after being down multiple days in a row. Like something like this APOP. I'm gonna show you how perfect this thing was. This thing was up from 160 to 4 in 2 sessions. And then near the open, it had a little bit of a flat pattern here. And when it failed, that was a short signal. And there was a second entry here, another big bear flag intraday below VWAP with lower highs. And then it lost that, went down a lot. So these kinds of stocks I used to trade all the time when I was a day trader. Now I don't give a shit anymore. But that's how you build an account. Find these stocks that are moving, that have a lot of daily range. When you had a smaller account, did you manage well, I didn't. You can't manage your emotions. And I think people who think you should manage your emotions, I think you're full of shit. You should just accept the emotions. And this is why I overtrade. I'm a chronic overtrader. Sometimes I just put on trades. I know they're not optimal, but I do it smaller size just to get that fix. I need my fix. That's how it is. And it helps. I learned to accept that. I need to make small donations to the market to avoid bigger losses later on, because I do something really stupid. So I do like small stupid things on purpose to avoid doing big stupid things later, if you understand what I mean. I need to get my fix, my trading fix. And these emotions like FOMO and whatever they are, like they won't ever go away. They're always gonna be there. That's why I play World of Warcraft, to take my mind off trading